Aye. You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, hello Internet. Welcome to Crying While Driving. I'm your host, Lindsay Conway. Our guest today, Lexi Neelis.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming back to camp.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Cheers.
Great to be here, Lindsay.
We're
Cheers.
so excited to have you. So we have a dirty, flirty blue cheese martini. Is it too weird?
Dirty and flirty is a good description of this drink. Damn. That is good. It's like
Good.
funky, but not too funky. Like there's a little bit of floralness in it too, which is unexpected.
Maybe
Like
the
white
vermouth?
flowers. Yeah, maybe.
It's definitely funky.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
I love it.
But good. I like it. It's a little weird. It's a little unhinged, yet balanced. Not unlike myself.
I relate to that. So my name is Lexi. I also go by Lex. My pronouns are she, her, always have been. I identify as bi, and I'm in a straight presenting relationship. And I'm excited to talk about like my journey through queerness and, you know, how I got to where I am today with it and kind of my story about it.
Heck yes. Thank you for coming on and being willing to share.
Yeah. I'm excited to chat.
My first question for you is, if you identified as a cocktail, what cocktail would you be and why?
Ooh, that's such a good question because I almost always order like a mezcal margarita. I love mezcal. I know that would be my spirit.
Okay.
Would be mezcal for sure. I always feel like the magic of drinking it. You know, I spent a little bit of time in Mexico, kind of studying indigenous food cultures there.
Oh, wow.
And I was going through a breakup at the time and really went to all the mezcal areas in Oaxaca City.
Was that a solo trip?
Yeah, no. I've gone on a lot of solo trips. This trip, although I did a lot of stuff on my own during this trip, it was with school for school credit for one of my like food science courses.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really cool.
I love mezcal. I love like a mezcal old fashioned.
Yeah, me too. A mezcal Negroni.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
yes.
so good.
So good.
Yeah, I love the smokiness, and I love same thing like with wine. I mean, I could nerd out about this, but it's like, you know, the cactus, and then there's different like varieties of that cactus, and depending on like where it's grown, what kind of cactus it is, how they, you know, treat it, it's like you get so many different flavors that come through.
Right.
And also region, you know. Some of the mezcals are like deeply cultural, so
Very cool.
it's a very good spirit. I just love how I feel when I drink it. I'm not sure, you know, I think I would go with mezcal margarita today. Yeah.
Okay, let it
That's
be
how
known.
I feel.
So looking back, what were some of the first moments that you realized that your attraction went beyond the binary?
Yeah. I would say like watching TV or like movies, I was always like looking at like the girls and women in the movies and just like, I don't know if I want to be you or if I have a crush on you.
That's
like
so real.
Not interested in like the dudes. Like even in like Boy Meets World, it was all about Topanga for me.
Topanga.
Like I think that was maybe one of the first times I like felt attraction to like a girl. And then maybe Liv Tyler and Empire Records. Still to this day, I watch that movie and it's all about Liv Tyler. It's like, I love her.
Man, Topanga, you just unlocked a memory. Like, do I want to bury myself in her hair or do I want her hair?
Yes, like all over my pillow, please. Yeah, and then like, you know, what's his name's older brother was like also cute. You know, he had that like cute relationship with Mr. Feeney. But like
Matt, was that his name?
Was it Matt or was it Eric?
Eric.
Yeah, Eric. But yeah. Topanga #1, Eric #2.
So first celebrity crush, Topanga?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. What was your first experience like with a woman?
Oh my God. So sweet. I look back on this moment so fondly. I grew up in Barrington, and like the place to go and you were like bored or, you know, just needed a place to hang out, smoke cigarettes, like it was Barrington Beach. And this is like, if you go to Barrington Beach now, it's like, you know, it looks kind of nice. There's like beach grass and like dune, like a short dune, but it's like, and it's paved and there's a little like fence. When I was in high school, it was just like a skid mark of some sand and like some crackly old pavement. Like it was not the same. Anyway, me and this girl I went to high school with, let me make up a name. I'm just going to call her, trying to think of a name that would fit her.
Sandy Beach moment.
Sandy's cute. Okay, let's go with Sandy.
Okay.
So I like that. So me and Sandy, we're like pretty good friends. We had like a few classes together. And, you know, we had child development together. That was like the class that I would see her in. And I always thought she was super cute.
So this wasn't a close friend?
Not really, but we were like friends. We wouldn't like hang out all that much, but yeah, we were friends. We were more than like acquaintances for sure, but we had classes together and like saw each other in school and didn't really hang out that much. So yeah, one day like it was like in the evening, it was definitely like sunset. And the sunsets at Barrington Beach are so pretty. So, like, we just were, like, bored and went there, like, after school one day. And we were, like, in her dad's, like luxury SUV. Maybe it was, like, a Lexus SUV. I'm not sure, but you know how rich it is.
There was space. It was roomy.
Yeah, there was lots of space. So she had these like gorgeous blue eyes, and even though she's like taller than me, she somehow would like look over her eyelashes at me.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't even know how it's possible to like do that, but it was like always, I was like, I could just like fall right into these eyeballs. And so we're at the beach, I'm in the passenger seat, and not like the Chapel Roan song. Not there yet, but we decided to go in the back seat and make out a little bit and like touch each other's boobs. And that was like really sweet. She like is like someone who's like confident, but at the same time like deeply insecure. Like I think we all are a little insecure, like even the most confident people, but there's a difference between like expressing it and just keeping it in. Totally. And she's one of the type of people who would like express it. And like, I don't know, like being able to like make out with her, like touch her body, tell her that she's beautiful. Like,
were you 16?
Yeah, I think I was probably around then. I know
she
that
was like the same age.
Yeah.
What was like going on in your body? Like, during that, like I know for me, my first queer experience, my heart was like beating out of my chest. Like I think the other person could hear it.
Yeah.
Like what was going on like inside of you?
Yeah. So I don't really know. I feel like I blacked out a little bit, like just out of like a sheer just disbelief and like, oh my God, I'm kissing a girl and her lips are so soft and this is so different than like kissing a boy. And
did the moment like take you by surprise, or was it something like you had really wanted to happen?
It took me by surprise. It's not something that I had thought about happening a lot, but I know that Sandy did think about it a lot because she told me afterwards, and she's like, yeah, every time I looked at you, that's what I imagine, and I'm so glad we got to do it. And she really led the whole like experience. I feel like having that as my first experience, like I kind of like I've dated a lot of men. I've only had like maybe 2 or 3 like dating relationships, kind of dating, you know, more than like hooking up like with women. And I think like having Sandy like lead that experience kind of like led me to like let the other woman in the situation kind of like lead.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was more comfortable with, because like like go ahead, girlfriend, like go ahead, goddess, like beautiful queen, like do what you want to do.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
you know, so yeah, whereas like with guys I think I could be a little bit more like
assertive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So did that become a thing? Or did it end there? Was there like a coming out after that?
So with Sandy, we kind of would like make out sometimes. And then like she had a boyfriend who she ended up marrying and having 2 kids with like later on, and then got divorced from.
My goodness.
Barrington is so small. I know anybody listening to this is going to like be able to figure out who this person is in 2 seconds. Sorry. But yeah, so she had a boyfriend, I had a boyfriend, and then it became this thing where it's like, okay, we're just going to make out sometimes when we want to. Okay. And we're going to hold hands in the hallway, and
shit, that's pretty public.
And we like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an Aquarius. So
yeah, you are.
Like, so I feel like that explains a lot of, like, I think I need to preface this, like, conversation with that because a lot of how I approach queerness and, like, coming out is very Aquarian.
Okay. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So, like, my coming out is, like, not a moment. And I don't know if I ever really did, like, come out. It was just, like...
This just is what it is.
Yeah. And... like, yeah, if you see me with a girl and you're confused, I'm not going to explain to you, like being lesbian is a thing, being bi is a thing. Like, you can figure it out yourself. Like, I don't need to tell you.
You did grow up in such a small town. Did things get back to your family? Was that a component ever of, like, sitting down and having a conversation with them?
Yeah, that's a good question. Excuse me. And it's, like, hard to articulate really, like, what was going on in my life at that time with my parents. They were going through a divorce, and they were very much focused on that. And I was very much able to do what I wanted. And I think that their, like, parenting stopped at, like, okay, she's fed, slept, and she's here at night, which I wasn't.
She's going to school.
Yeah. So, like, I think that they weren't really paying attention. I, like, went through a lot, like, in that time, and didn't really, like, have a relationship where I, like, talked to my parents, or, like, it was fine. It wasn't awful. Like,
Did you have a really close group of friends, like chosen family, that supported you more so? Yeah. Yeah, I
did. And I think that really shapes how I view community now. Like, it is so important. My friends are so important to me.
Community is everything.
It is. And I think that's how we're going to get through at least, like, the next 4 years, you know. So we have to really lean in on our friends groups, and
100%.
Like, and this is the thing about friends is, like, friends taught me how to be a good partner. Like, I love my friends. Like these platonic relationships are like platonic, like, loves of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like,
that is exactly how I approach friendship.
Yeah.
And it's the only way to do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And, like, treating your friends like they're, like, your girlfriend. Like, like, I love to, like,
there's romance in friendship.
Exactly.
Yeah, there should be. Or what else is the point?
Yeah, I feel like that, like, really resonates with me, especially in some of my, like, loneliest times where I, like, wasn't seeing anyone, or, like, was going through breakups. Like, leaning into friends and, like, deciding, like, I want to, like, buy my friend this, like, thing that I saw that reminded me of them, or, like, I'm gonna, like, make us reservations for this pop-up, and I'm gonna say, hey, I got this check tonight, like, if we go out for dinner, like, you want to go out for coffee. Like, romance and friendships is important.
It is so important. I have to say, some of my most treasured possessions are, like, handwritten notes and cards from my closest friends.
Me too. I have, like, a scrapbook box where I just, like, put everything. And now my friends are, like, having kids and stuff, so it's like I get to fill that box up with, like, you know, like, little, like, handprint cards of their babies, and, like, little, like, Christmas cards over their families. It's so sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah.
So you are in a straight presenting relationship.
Yeah.
What is that like as a person who's very much a part of the queer community and is very, certain of their sexuality? Like, how does it feel being in that relationship, and how do you two navigate?
Yeah, that is such a good question. And I love talking about this because I think us in the queer community, we know that just because you're dating a man doesn't make you less bi.
Totally.
Who I'm dating doesn't inform my queerness.
100%.
And I had to have that conversation with myself. Mm-hmm. We talk about a coming out story. I never really had a coming out moment, but I have had coming out moments to myself over and over again to reaffirm my queerness. Because like I said, I've dated men. Mm-hmm. My most serious relationships have been with men. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean I'm not attracted to or haven't even fallen for women. Mm-hmm. I have, and I've had my heart broken by one girl in particular. It's different. So going back to being in a relationship with a man, I'm as sure about this relationship as I am about my queerness and who I am. Mm-hmm. It's been the best relationship.
Tell us about Reese.
Reese is wonderful. He is so smart, so creative, and loving, and our communication is incredible. I know I can rely on him, and I want to be there for him. Mm-hmm. And I think the communication that we have is so special.
Do you think there's something to be said for meeting your person a little bit later on in life when you have been through those trials and tribulations and have fallen and picked yourself back up?
Yeah. Reese and I love to talk about this. We love talking about our first date with each other.
Oh my gosh, tell us, please.
So I was poly when I went on my first date with Reese. And Reese and I have known each other for a long time. Mm-hmm. We've been friends, and we've hung out a lot, either my partner or his partner was mm-hmm. always there. Him and I never hung out on one-on-one, but we always had crushes on each other. And this came out on our first date. We didn't know. I remember telling Reese, your hair looks good like that. You're so hot. And delivering it platonically and him receiving it platonically. We talked about that moment. Mm. He was I didn't even know you were hitting on me. And I was good, that was by design. I respect you so much mm-hmm. that I would never step on your current relationship.
Right, because you were both
at that
partnered.
moment. Yeah. And I just thought this guy was the sweetest, most gorgeous man I've ever seen in my whole life. I have those time stop moments where I look at him and I'm I get to kiss you. I get to hold your hand.
I get to
love you. Mm. And I remember having those moments where time stops, your head goes fuzzy when you're looking at this person. I remember having those years and years ago and being don't do it, Lex. Just look away.
Push it down.
Yeah. And it turns out he was having those moments about me.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, I think, it's just been really good. Did I answer the question? I feel I
totally
digressed a little bit.
Yeah. Being in a straight facing relationship does not inform your queerness.
Right.
You are sure of who you are. And you stand.
There's more I want to say about that. And it's I don't feel I'm missing out. That's the thing. I was poly and that was great. I had some really good experiences with some really amazing people. And I was in a throuple, and that was wonderful.
What was that like?
I'll go back to that.
Okay.
And, I've had relationships where it's that wishy-washy, are we friends? Are we something? Mm-hmm. What is this? And I feel meeting Reese later, or not meeting him, but going on a date with him later and finding my person later, I needed every single one of those experiences to inform the relationship that I have now. I think like right up until the moment Reese was like, I'm just gonna say this and see how it feels. Like, I love you. Like, you know, like we're laying in bed and he says that. Up until that moment, I needed every single one of those experiences to get me ready and to help me recognize love when it's staring me in the face.
100%. That resonates so deeply.
Yeah. And cheers to that. I mean,
cheers to that.
Yeah.
To love.
To love.
Can I ask you, what was the conversation like? So when you met Reese, you were poly. How did you navigate maybe like walking that back, or what did that look like within your relationship?
Yeah.
Was he ever his pronouns are
Or he, him.
Yeah. So was he ever interested? Was that a conversation?
We did have a conversation about it, and I was like, it was very early on. It was maybe like even the first week or two after our first date. You know, I feel like the first few weeks were really slow. Like we definitely saw each other, and we went on some dates where I was the most nervous I have ever been on a date, like shaking, couldn't like hold my cigarette, and I was just like, I'm just cold, I'm just freezing, like pulling up on my motorcycle, like just thinking I'm gonna crash into the side of the eddy, just like, just play it cool. He's not even there. He's not there. This is just some guy.
Oh my gosh.
Like having to talk through that with myself. And so like those reactions, like I feel like men like don't make me that nervous. And like having this like visceral reaction around like a man, I was just like, whoa, what is going on? Yeah, so I feel like we did have to talk about it, and I was, you know, he was like, I'm into you, you know, like I want to be more than friends. Like the first time we were hooking up, I want to be more than friends. I don't want to go that far with you right now because I don't want to damage our friendship. Like all of that came up the first time we were hooking up. And I feel like a younger like version of me would have been like, oh, this is dumb, like whatever. But like me now, I was like, I hear you. I respect that. Let me think about it and we can talk about this. And like I really cared about him already. And like as a friend and like as like someone I really like valued their like the way they move through the world and the way he like I don't know, just like I guess I just like wanted to make sure that he felt safe and heard in a way that like was really, really important to me and not just kind of important to me. So
you had seen the intimate details of his previous relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Like you had seen exactly what he went through.
Yes.
Yeah. So it makes sense that you would approach it with like a very delicate
for sure. And like I thought it was super fucking brave for him to be like, I want more than friends. Like I like you and like I want to do this with you. Like I was just like, wow,
we love somebody who's direct.
You're just telling me that? There's no like
there are no games. What do you mean? You're just gonna say what you mean?
And that was so hot to me, and like it made me think about it. And then like the first few weeks like of like dating Reese, like, you know, like going on dates with Reese, not like dating, like I was still seeing like the other people that I was seeing. I was seeing like 3 different people, and you know, I said to Reese, I was like, I'm poly, and he immediately was like, I'm not poly, and like I'm not interested in being poly with you. He said that he was like down to wait for me, like, but he was like, I'm monogamous and I want a monogamous relationship. And so I was like, okay, let me think about it. And like then I saw the solar eclipse. And I went up to Vermont to see it. And it was the most profound thing I've ever really like experienced. I mean,
did he go with you?
No, I went with my best friend Lehua. And like, I was kind of like leaning on this eclipse. I was like, I want this eclipse to like show me what to do. Like, show me like, do I continue like being polyamorous and like dating this person? Like I had like one primary and then like two like more casual relationships, and like everybody knew what was going on. And I was like, I want this eclipse to like show me what to do. And it did, but it didn't. Like I didn't have any kind of like realization, but what I did have from the eclipse was this like profound feeling of like beauty and like the way the light changed. I feel like it just showed me, it's hard to articulate really, but it was a very profound feeling. And so when I got back to Rhode Island, like it helped me recognize my profound feelings for Reese.
Okay.
And it helped me break up with like the person that I was seeing like most seriously at the time. And that was intense. I remember like crying into the steak dinner he had made me. Like,
oh no,
I just need to follow this through, and I know I love Reese and I just need to do this. And like,
how was it received? How long had you been seeing that person?
I feel like almost a year.
Wow.
Maybe? No, not quite. I feel like we had definitely had like a summer, fall, and like most of the winter together. Yeah.
So a significant amount of time.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing. It was like serious. You know, we had like great person. Like we had a good thing going. It just wasn't quite it.
And he was a part of that polycule.
Yeah.
So how did that come to be?
Well, I feel like I kind of like with my friend Trishelle, like we had lots of conversations. She's poly. I had a lot of conversations with her about like, I don't think it's one person's job to fulfill all of your needs. Like, I don't really think monogamy is it. Like, I haven't had like that many great monogamous relationships. My last monogamous relationship, I really wanted to open it up. And like, like he didn't want to. And that was the reason we ended it, is because I wanted to like explore like what it was like to have like multiple partners. And I like have had multiple partners, like, but you know, when you're younger and you're dating casually, no one's your boyfriend, no one's your girlfriend. You're just kind of like, la la la, like doing whatever you're doing, and you're going on dates with like a bunch of different people. Like I wanted to do that again, but I wanted to like have relationships and like have like more serious feelings for like the people that I was seeing. So I did that, and you know, it was really good. And like before this relationship too, I was in the throuple that I mentioned, and that was so fun. And like the dynamic was like the three of us were like awesome together, but any two of us, it was like a shit show.
Oh no. What do you mean? How?
So like him and her, it was like me, another girl, and a guy. And it like them together was like horrible and toxic. Me and him together was like and then like me and her together was like tons of drinking and like public making out, and like also kind of toxic. And we were friends like before that, and then it just kind of like evolved into like us like seeing each other and this guy. So yeah, but like when the three of us were together, it felt really fun and good. We even like took a little trip, you know, together, and stayed in like an Airbnb, and that was sweet. And it felt like a little like throuple vacation. And like, again, Aquarius, I love the spectacle of people guessing when like it's him and both of us on the side of him, like kissing him and then like kissing each other. Like, I don't know, like the public exhibitionist, is that the right word of it?
So, yeah.
I like loved and thrived on. And I think that was a big part of being in a throuple for me was like how novel it was that like that people like you don't really see that a lot, especially like I feel like with my background of like growing up in Barrington, like super like rich white normie town. Like I don't know, I just feel like
did it feel like rebellious in a way that really like fed you?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Yeah.
Are there any stereotypes with polyamory or with bisexuality that you feel like need to be addressed?
Yeah, I feel like people think that people who are poly like are just like having an excuse to avoid monogamy, and that's not true. Like being poly requires like intense introspection on like managing your emotions, managing things like jealousy, not seeing jealousy as a red flag, but more just like information. Like when you're like successfully navigating like polyamory, you are using your emotions as information and not like,
as we should in every relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I think like having to do that helped me become a better partner. And I think I do look at my emotions as that, like especially jealousy. Jealousy is like the big like polyamorous, like I feel like emotion that it's
the
like
speed bump.
Yeah. The speed bump
that everybody comes up against.
Yeah. And it's like you either go like, well, is she better than me like at going down on you or not? Like, or you're like, I'm glad that you have that relationship, and I also love that what we have is different, you know, and like it takes that confidence to be able to kind of know that you're worth like being in this other person's life.
Yeah,
and the other person is too, you know? Yeah, it was a really interesting like kind of relationship style to explore.
Do you have any quirky red or green flags in dating that you like know of in yourself?
Man, I wish I had time to like think about this beforehand. That's such
we
a
have
good
time.
question.
Marinate on it.
Okay. We'll have to cut me just like thinking because
no, we can totally cut.
You know, what are my red flags in dating? When I'm PMSing, I like have zero patience. I don't know what it is. What's with that? Like,
I don't know. I feel that deeply.
When I'm PMSing, my superpowers disappear. And like, I will, like all of the work I've done, like.
Your fuse just gets a little shorter.
Yeah. Why?
Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exhaustion.
Yeah.
Bleeding.
It's
not a great
hormones
trifecta.
Are different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that, and I've been very like open about that.
Yeah.
Been like, hey, during my luteal phase, I may react differently to things than I do when I'm in my follicular phase. What else? I do require like reassurance. And I don't know if that's a red flag, but
I don't think that's a red flag.
But I like reassurance, and I like my person to just like stare at me and be like, "You're so fucking gorgeous." And like I didn't know I liked that until here I am with Reese, and he does that.
So it's something that was missing before.
Yeah, and I didn't really know that. I didn't really know reassurance was like something I needed. But it absolutely is, and it has like built my security in not just my relationship, but also like in myself, and like how I just mentioned about polyamory, like knowing that you're worth it, like, and have a place in someone's life, like that is like what verbal reassurance has like helped me like stand in like that. Yeah. I think my green flags are like, I consider myself like super understanding and like I like love to like listen and like understand like what is going on. And I will ask like what's the kind of question I'm looking for? Like
clarifying questions. You're not like jumping to conclusions. You're like trying to figure out what's going on underneath. Yeah. That's a excellent green flag.
Clarifying questions. And I love being on the same team. Like we are a team and it's us.
Yes.
And I think my green flag too is I'm a when not if girly. So like if I say something, I'm already thinking about it as if it's happening or has happened and it's not like if. Like for example, like Reese and I like have talked about like moving out of the country.
Shit.
When not if, like we're gonna do it. And if it doesn't happen, like I'm not attached to it, but like let's talk about it as if we're manifesting it, as if it's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, we've talked about Ireland, we've talked about New Zealand. Yeah, we've talked about Spain. So yeah, we'll see.
We're back.
We're back.
Lexi, how has your relationship to sex and intimacy evolved over time, especially as you've come to understand and embrace your identity?
Ooh, I love a good sex question.
Great.
Let's see. How's my relationship to sex and relationships changed? It's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
I think that like the sex that I have with Reese, because we're so obsessed with each other and like in love with each other, like it is, I look at sex more now as a way to connect emotionally. And it feels like really like I want to be close to you. I want to be in you.
I want to absorb you into my skin.
Yes, I want to transcend the flesh boundary.
It's wild moving into that era.
Yeah.
It's definitely not how I approached sex in my 20s.
Same. Oh, thank you. Come up. Aw.
You have a cat.
I've been saying that I want to hold a cat.
There you go. You just had to come to camp.
Nice.
Are there any like particular aspects about queer sex that you think like deserve more open conversation?
I don't know. I feel like
Excuse me. That is not for you. He has obviously some opinions he'd like to weigh in on.
So I feel like sex has never really felt like that to me. It's always been like a way to like get what I want or to like try on different personas or to like dominate someone that I like couldn't in like the real world, not in like the sex world. I feel like it's been very like not like serious, but like I don't know. Reese and I like laugh during sex sometimes. Like it's just like fun and like serious and like at the same time somehow, and like saying I love you during sex is like so intense. So like even though I've had all these like experiences, I feel like it's new. It feels brand new.
Amazing.
And I think like that is like the cool thing about like being me and having had like lots of like sexual experiences with like lots of different people is like it's new every time. And this by far is like the most rewarding like sex I've experienced.
Cheers to that.
It's so intimate and yeah.
One of my favorite things about my relationship with Andy is I feel like so much of our relationship is grounded in play, which is so fulfilling and like comforting. And yeah, just like Love it. And
Yeah.
when you were saying that there's like laughter and
Yeah.
those like seriously intimate moments, like I feel like when you have that kind of trust with somebody, it's so powerful.
It really is.
Are power dynamics something you like to play with?
Yeah. Yeah. Short answer, yes.
Okay.
Long answer, I'm historically a switch.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love like being dominated, and like Reese's like soft dom, like so hot. And then like I love like also like taking charge, and like lately I think I'm in my like pillow princess phase though, because I've really enjoyed being like not dominant and like
You're taking some time off.
yeah, it's
I love
felt
that for
really
you.
good. And I love that like I have the space to explore that. And I think like if I like, you know, want to switch it up, it will happen naturally and feel totally normal to like switch it up, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm psyched about like where I am now and like what I see like my like sex evolving into. Yeah.
Are there things about your own desires or turn-ons that surprised you as you began exploring your sexuality more?
Yeah, I think like I feel like I like am surprised, like going back to like being a pillow princess, like I'm surprised that I'm like that like with Reese, and I'm surprised by that because like historically I'm only like that with women. And like I'm not sure why. I haven't really like explored that. I'm sure like listeners will be like maybe relate to that or like have a reason why, but like I think I mentioned earlier that like when I'm with like women in the past, I like let them do their thing because like I just want to see like what beauty evolves. Like I don't really want to like influence it all that much. And I think that's why I haven't had that many like deep sexual or like intimate like dating relationships with women is I think that I could in the past like have played a little bit more of a part. But I think too I've like been rejected by women, and somehow it hurts more than being rejected by a man. Like and I think like that has made me like a little bit like scared about it. But
Maybe there's like a fear and a trust piece.
yeah. So I think I'm like surprised that like I haven't like gone for it a little bit more with girls. Like looking back, it's like I'm a very like forward person. So I think, does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. And it seems like maybe you're like reaching this pillow princess era with Reese. Maybe you've built so much trust in that relationship that you can kind of like relax a little and let someone else take the reins.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
What is the best or worst first date you've ever been on?
Oh my God. I've had some really shitty first dates. I've had some really good first dates too. Let's start with the worst.
Please.
I think the worst first date I've been on, was that the worst one or was that one the worst one? I met this guy on Field.
Is that an app?
App?
Is that an app?
Oh,
Field?
an app. Yes, it's
Okay.
an app. And I liked Fields. But I met this guy in Field. I rode my motorcycle to our date, and he was like not impressed, and that was a red flag for me because
That's a red flag. It's very impressive.
I like when people are impressed with me. So I was like, I clocked that and was just like, okay. And then he like at the end of the date, like he didn't like any of the food that I ordered at Aguadante.
That's where we had our first date.
Yeah. Such a good first date.
So cute.
Well, like this one. No,
So you
but, like,
ordered a bunch of plates and he didn't like any of it.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know what's good here, so can you just order? So I did, and that's fine. That wasn't the red flag part, but he like was like, oh, I don't know if I like this, or like I don't really like this, and I was like, okay.
Not adventurous when it comes to food.
And then, like, he wanted to kiss me, so he pushed me up against the fence and, like, made out with me, like, hard. And I was like, no, just no. And then I got on my motorcycle and he walked away. He didn't even wait to, like, watch me leave. So, like, I was like, this is not going to work because you're not impressed with me. You, like, can't take the cue that, like, I didn't really want to make out with you that way.
Yeah.
Like, it was, like, aggressive. And, like, then I didn't really know what I wanted out of this. So I just kind of, like, kept him waiting and, like, was just texting him. And then he was like, this isn't working. Goodbye. And, like, I didn't say anything. And then I saw on his field profile later that he was like, here to date, not to write a book with someone. So, like, I know it was because I was texting him too much, but I didn't know. I needed to keep him in that gray area, but he was, like, texting me every single day, like, hi, good morning, like, trying to force the, like, good morning text where it's like,
So he's doing that, but
Yeah.
doesn't want to write a book with someone.
Right.
Okay.
So,
And,
like,
it seems like you also like to fuck around and find out, which
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Sometimes you find out.
Yeah. I can tell you another embarrassing story too.
Please.
And it's about the girl who kind of, like, broke my heart a little bit.
Okay. Wait, set the stage. How old are you?
Okay, so I'm, like, in my early 20s, and
Is this person I would know from Providence?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. But she wait, can we come up with a name for her too?
Yeah, sure.
She's kind of, like, hippie-ish. Audrey, I love it. Okay. So Audrey. Ooh, this suits her as a name too. I like it. So I've known Audrey for a long time. I'm going to talk about this in, like, present tense too.
Okay.
And we decide that, like, we want to go on, like, a little trip to visit our mutual friend. And we, like, drive up together, and over that drive, we find out that the two of us are dating and sleeping with the same man. A tattoo artist,
Oh, boy.
who's, like, much older than us, and, like, has, like, a big following, has a lot of money. Like, we discover, and I knew that it was casual with me and this guy.
But she did not.
She did not. She thought he was exclusive. And I feel like that set the stage for her in a different way than it did for me, because like, it was no hard feelings with us. Like, we're both girls. Like, it's, like, his fault. Like, fuck that guy. He sucks. I think she might have even texted him to break up with him, like
On the trip.
then, maybe, like, during the trip. But we had a great time together. But we get to our friend's place, and he's working, like, the night shift for his job, and we have the house to ourselves pretty much. So we're, like, drinking the, like, nice beer that we got, and I think we were drinking a little whiskey too. And like, we start hooking up, and, like, it was amazing. Like, it was, like, so sweet and sexy, and like we were doing everything that, like, I, like, love. I guess I won't get into details, but I guess I don't know if I want to, like.
Fair enough.
But it was really good. And, like, then, like, the next night our friend is home, and he's, like, drinking with us, and, like, I could not wait for him to leave so that Audrey and I could hook up again. And we did. And then we did again the next night. And then we drove home together, and I was, like, texting her, and I was like, that was really fun. Like, do you want to hang out again soon? And, like, she was like, yeah, like, let's do that. Let's hang out. And I was like, great. I can't wait to kiss you. Like, me, like, totally misreading her, kind of, because she was like, oh, LOL.
Oh.
And, like, I hooked up with her because I like thought she was beautiful, really liked her, like really wanted to like get to know her more.
Mm-hmm.
And she hooked up with me because she wanted to get revenge on this guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And
Ugh.
like I cried about it because like
That would crush anybody.
yeah.
Ugh.
And like I really had like super misread her.
Hmm.
And I feel like this is another reason why it's like I'm so tentative when it comes to like having relationships with women is like I like this rejection hurt so bad. And it still hurts when I think about it. I'm like, oh my God, that was awful. Cause like that realization, like, oh my God, you just hooked up with me to get revenge on this guy. And like, I hooked up with you because I really like you. And like I thought about her for so long, like, and like I thought about hooking up with her for so long. And like, she's just like, I think I like really put her on a pedestal too. A pedestal, like just, I don't know, just, you know, when you're just like, you can't stop thinking about someone and like their vibe and their body and how you feel with them.
And you're young and everything is like life or death and just so exciting and new and yeah. The first girl that I ever hooked up with, I met at North. She left her number for me.
Oh my God.
And I had such a crush. Oh my God. Like heart beating out of my chest, like so intense.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had such a crush. And then she met her wife while we were seeing each other, like her now wife, and she would continue to come into the restaurant on dates with her. Oh my God. Heartbroken. So down bad. It sucks.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like young and
it's never a good feeling.
no.
That's so funny.
If there was one thing you could say to a younger version of yourself or somebody else that's struggling to come into who they are, what would you say to them?
I would say like lean into community as much as you can because if you're not sure like who you are and where you want to be, like how you feel around like different people in your life can really show you like what direction you want to go, like who feels right, and like lean into those friendships and relationships or whatever it is that feel right. And don't think about it too much. Like it will fall into place.
Yeah,
and
that's so true.
Yeah, and it doesn't always have to be this like super serious, super intentional thing, especially if you're at that point where you're questioning. Like the more like you can think about it in like a like light, refreshing way and not like an intense, serious way, the less pressure there's going to be. And like just surrounding yourself with friends and people who love and support you is the best thing you can do for yourself.
100%.
Like when you're feeling that way. Yeah.
I'd also add, if you are having trouble finding those people in person, I would not discount online spaces. So you can really find your people and community.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming back to camp.
Oh, wait, I have one quick surprise for you.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say some things.
Okay.
And this is going to be rapid fire.
Okay.
I want you to just react to them.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. Disney World, yes or no?
Fuck. Well, okay. I actually have something to say on that.
Short answers only.
Well, you're going to want to hear this. So in my Tinder profile, when Andy and I met, my last line was no cults or Disney adults. And guess who's dragging me to Disney in December?
Andy.
No
way.
Yep.
You love
So
Disney World?
no, so her cousin got married in September, the first lesbian wedding I've ever been to.
So fun.
And so it's like a little fam thing. And so I'll be in Disney in a few weeks. Fun. Yay.
All right, awesome.
I
so
love Mickey Mouse.
the short answer.
Fuck.
Mickey.
My short answer is nah.
Arcades.
I liked them as a kid. I know Andy's dying to go to like an arcade bar. Maybe we should all.
We should.
Okay, yeah.
I know the best games at Free Play.
Oh, let's do. I've never been.
Oh, it's really fun.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Flannel. Wearing flannel in the summertime.
I think the only reason that girl ever left her number for me at North was because I was doing that.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Cool. Juice cleanses.
Fake news. It's all sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glass sex toys.
That's terrifying.
Divorce.
Reasonable?
Vapes.
No. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
As a former smoker, I don't know. If you're going to smoke a cigarette. But
Okay.
Vapes are a hard pass for me.
Yeah. What's the most, like, what's the worst thing you can do on an airplane? Like, do you have any, like, skeevy things that, like, you don't like?
Well, the first thing that came to mind, the worst thing you could do is throw up like all over yourself without a bag or something. And then like everybody, but like somebody like tapping their foot behind
Yeah.
you or like moving your seat. Terrible. Or somebody that will hassle a mom who has a screaming kid.
Yeah.
Like she's stressed
I
out
hate
enough. That's terrible.
Yeah. I think the last one was like fake plants, was it? Let me see.
Oh,
Yeah. What do you think?
I think there's a time and a place. Like I'm a plant person, obviously, but like there was a big learning curve to that. I've killed so many plants. Particularly, I've killed so many fiddle figs trying to like figure out.
God.
So like I did have
They're
a big.
so pretty,
They're
but
so pretty,
so
and I
high
had
maintenance.
yeah. I had a fake one for a while as I like figured that out. But like, if your whole decor is hinging on fake plants,
Yeah.
maybe contact an interior designer. Maybe figure some shit out.
Yeah.